Have you ever walked into a room feeling completely out of your depth and surrounded by people who seem to know everything? Well, what if I told you that becoming the smartest person in the room does not hinge on studying research papers and reading endless books in a dark room, but actually it's about mastering a few simple strategies that can easily set you apart from your peers? Well, I'm going to share some of those strategies with you right now, so let's just go ahead and get into it. Anytime that I personally am encountering a new situation where I have to interact with new people or do something that I've never done before, I like to first just take a step back and observe. I look at how things are done, how the people are interacting with each other, what kind of words they're using, how loud they're talking to each other, how they structure their words and sentences. I'm just feeling out every little detail that just makes this whole thing, this whole event, this whole scenario work. Not because I want to change myself so that people like me because I'm more like them, but no, I like to try and get some context on where I'm at, what I'm doing, who I'm going to be doing it with, so that I can achieve the most favorable outcome for myself and for the people around me. And in the process of all that observing, I find little gaps where I can insert myself. I can provide my knowledge and expertise, and I can even ask questions to learn about foreign concepts that are relevant to the situation that we're in so that I can learn something. And you can do this in any situation that you're in, whether you're trying to make new friends, gain an advantage over a competitor, de-escalating tense situations, anywhere that you can just compile data points inside of your head and manipulate them to work for you. Being deeply aware of the types of people that you're mingling with is such an underrated tool that can open so many doors and reveal so many opportunities that would be hidden otherwise. I don't know if you've ever played Skyrim, but it's like when you're walking through the town of, I don't know, Whiterun, and you're trying to get to the main objective, but you hear some people over on the side talking about something, and you're like, hold on, let me listen to what they're saying. And turns out they're talking about some sort of side quest that you can do to get the most powerful weapon in the game that will allow you to do the main quest that much better and that much more efficiently, all because you just took a second to observe your surroundings. But when you do this, just don't stand in the corner and stare at people. That's creepy. Do you remember asking your parents, why is the sky blue? Why is water wet? What does this word mean? And then for some reason, we hit a point in our lives. I don't know if it was middle school or high school or college or, when you got your first job, but we stopped asking dumb questions. Because for some reason, we think that with age just automatically came knowledge and that we're automatically supposed to be competent and all knowing about everything. So it's like we've developed this weird ego about asking simple questions or expressing to people that, oh, I don't know what that means. Can you tell me? But I want to ask you, what do you think actually sounds like the more intelligent thing to do? To hear something, it not make sense to you, and you ask the person who's talking about it what it means. They tell you what it means, and you automatically expand your intelligence by another piece of data that you didn't have before. Or you hear that same piece of foreign information, you act like you know what they're talking about, they start talking back to you about it, and you get exposed as a fraud because you acted like you knew something that you actually didn't. That's how you look stupid, and that's why I will take the former option over the latter any day. Not only can you gain useful pieces of information, but you can even become that much better of a conversationalist by asking and learning things about something that somebody else knows. Like if you're talking to someone and you run out of stuff to talk about them with, ask them about something that they are an expert in or they've studied or they have a passion for, because people love talking about things that they have developed an expertise in. Their face will probably light up, they'll lean in and be so much more engaged and have direct eye contact with you. And they'll probably even sit down and talk with you for hours about one thing. And then as you learn more and understand the concept more, you can give little examples about, oh, I've heard about that before here, or I've encountered it before here. And then you just go back and forth talking about literally anything, and the conversation can branch off into something that you're interested in, or something that you've developed knowledge about, or something that both of you have been interested in or and haven't experienced it yet or haven't had the time to actually study it. Just ask questions. Good people will tell you the answer to what you're asking, or they'll say, I don't know. The people who make you feel stupid for asking a simple question are probably the ones that don't know that thing themselves and are too afraid to ask as well. Now, again, I'm not saying to stand in the corner of a room with your hands in your pockets and just listening to other people talk. No, get out and introduce yourself and learn how to network. But no one likes to talk to people who just dominate conversations and act like they're the all knowing and almighty, all powerful person who just has an encyclopedia in their head. That's that old, well, actually type person that it's like, all right, bro, relax. Like I said before, people like to talk about themselves, and they're usually more willing to impart useful information to you if you're a willing listener who's actually interested in what they're saying than a person who's just like sitting there waiting for their chance to jump in and they only want to talk about themselves all the time. And this concept is especially true when you're in front of a person or in a room full of people who are more experienced than you and are already living the lifestyle that you want to live for yourself. Why the hell would you want to be the main one dominating that conversation in a room full of people who have the knowledge that you're looking for? If you've got somebody who's ready and willing to put you on, but you just keep talking about nonsense, they're about to be like, yo, this guy doesn't want to learn anything. He only cares about himself, and I don't think he can be coached. So I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Remember, knowledge and power does not always look like the person who's at the center of attention, all eyes on them, just constantly blabbing on and on and on. It can very often be the person who has the most information and knows how to analyze it and decipher it and give it meaning so that it can be used in the future. So just let other people talk sometimes, gain that knowledge from them, and then the next room that you go into, you'll be the one with that knowledge. This might be one of the most important pieces of advice that I have that I've actually used in my own life, but putting yourself in foreign situations can cause the most growth that you've ever seen in your life. When I was an introvert who didn't like being around people and didn't know how to make new friends, but I really wanted to learn how to, I acted in my senior class play. I started approaching girls who I thought were attractive and who I was interested in. I joined two different fraternities when I was in college, one business centric and one was the biggest social fraternity at my entire school. And listen, I don't say that to brag at all, but I just didn't know how to do any of those things at first, but I still just threw myself into the fire and figured my way out. I felt very uncomfortable at my first party because I didn't know who to talk to, and I kind of was that guy standing in the corner trying to figure it out, and I just wasn't. And when I asked the girl out for the first time, I was literally like shaking, and she said no, and you know what? I just rolled with it, and I was like, all right, let me not do that next time. But over time, I was able to become so much better at talking to people, making connections with people that were nothing like me. And I just learned how to have fun in so many different ways. And if I hadn't forced myself to go through and make it through that discomfort of something that I really wanted to learn how to do, I would still be trapped in my bedroom playing 2K and Call of Duty for, I don't know, 10 hours a day, trying to figure out why I can't find a girlfriend and why I have no friends and why I'm just so alone. And I'm even doing it right now. It's a Sunday afternoon and I really did not feel like sitting down and recording this video, but I want to be able to grow this YouTube channel. I want to be able to help people and use my experience and my advice to make a difference in some people's lives. But if I don't sit down and get my camera set up and just tell myself to just make it through the discomfort of recording this video, I will never be able to help anybody. And that's how you end up with a life full of regrets. And the best part is, with all of that experience, I have so many stories to tell my kids, and they'll look at me like I'm just like the coolest, smartest guy in the world. And when I meet up with people in a room, you just become a better all-around person to talk to. I was actually at the bar a couple of months ago, and I happened to run into a Theta Chi brother from another school, and we connected. I got his number, we talked, and shared some laughs and some stories about things that we did in college. And if I had never experienced the discomfort of being a pledge and going through the pledging process, I would have never been able to make that connection. Now, if you want some advice on staying motivated towards your goals, click this video right here on the screen. If you got any value out of this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you like what I'm doing over here. I'll be back next week, but for now, I'm out.